In the vast reaches of the cosmos, amidst the twinkle of distant stars and the swirling dance of galaxies lies the universe of the astral assemblage, a realm where celestial beings of incredible power guide the fates of myriad worlds, where ancient wisdom intertwines with untamed forces of nature, and where every decision can tip the balance of the cosmos. The astral assemblage is a universe of mystery and revelation, where knowledge is power and secrets are the true currency. A universe where the dance of celestial bodies echoes the rhythm of a grand cosmic narrative, and each star in the sky is but a note in the eternal symphony of existence. Welcome, Cosmic Wanderer, to the Astral Assemblage.
Hey there, Cosmic Wanderers. I'm Greg, and this is the second installment of the Astral Arkitekt, where we discuss all things 7 Archons, Aeon's Ascent, and the Astral Assemblage universe the game calls home. 7 Archons, Aeon's Ascent is a mystical strategy card game where I invite players to join in a cosmic struggle for control, offering an experience brimming with lore, missions, and evolving battlegrounds. If you'd like to learn more about the lore and thinking, the philosophies behind the game, the universe that it takes place in, do check out the first episode. Link is down in the description below. And there's a little bit of gameplay from an early prototype of the mobile version of the game that you can check out there. So, today's episode is all about the level select screens, as well as some of the struggles that I've been facing this past week in developing 7 Archons, Aeon's Ascent. I'm super stoked to be showing you the level select screens because my hope is that you as a potential player have some feedback for me on what you would like to see in these level select screens, because you're going to be spending a fair amount of time there. Not because it takes a while to go from level select to game, but because as you beat a planet, you'll be returning to those level select screens to continue navigating around the Astral Assemblage universe. And there will be little mini games that I add to the environment as well as the game progresses in development to make things more immersive, I guess, and to add other elements of strategy to the game. This isn't just about the card game itself. This is an entire universe that you can play in here. So I want to make sure that what I'm doing with these level select screens makes the most sense, is visually appealing and user-friendly. So why don't we jump in and take a look. Now, I just had a vacation where I didn't really do much relax. I spent a whole bunch of time working on the game, and this is actually a separate application from the game application because I started this first. When I first designed the deck of cards, I didn't know what I was going to do with them. I didn't have the mechanics planned out. I designed the cards just based on the idea of the Astral Assemblage universe and 7 Archons. I didn't yet have the Aeon's Ascent mechanics worked out, so I wanted to start development regardless of that. So I was like, well, I can take care of the level select screens. And I've always wanted to build like a Starship style navigation interface ever since I was a little boy. I always wanted one to play with because I loved Star Trek and Star Wars and things like that. So I finally did it. I'm 40, but I finally did it, folks. And so here's what I've got right now. These are placeholder assets, mind you, and this is where I'm looking for input from you, the potential player, on how to shape up the game. The first screen you're brought to is Intergalactic Cartography. Intergalactic Cartography is where you select a galaxy to play in. And there are a lot of galaxies to choose from. There's 777 here on this 3D representation. Each galaxy is represented by one of these spheres. Here's Zoe's nucleus, which has 97 systems. The difficulty is considered Grandmaster because there are so many systems. It would take a real hardcore player to completely liberate this galaxy. So that's what that means when it says difficulty Grandmaster. And the status, Demiurge controlled. That language needs to be updated because he's no longer called the Demiurge, he's called the Urge. But the reason it needs to be updated is that it should actually say the Hypostasis controls that region because it's a faction. It's the purveyors of chaos, the astral assemblage, versus the Hypostasis, the Urge and his Archons in this game. So when you click select, it zooms in on that galaxy. What I would like to happen is the spheres I'm going to keep, I think. But when you zoom in on a sphere, I want it to go transparent and reveal a galaxy inside of that sphere in some sort of abstract representation. Right now, I do have a 3D model that I built as part of a tutorial, which is a pseudo-realistic rendering of a spiral galaxy. But I don't think I want to go with that because I'm not sure, A, how to contain all the particles inside the sphere so that it doesn't make a huge mess of the map. And B, I think that something stylized would be more memorable to the player. So I was thinking some sort of 3D object that rotates and spins inside of the sphere. So what would you like to see there? Or what do you think I should put inside the sphere? Should I replace the spheres entirely? I don't know. Anyways, when you click download probe data, it'll show you information about the star systems that are contained within Zoe's nucleus. And there's a list on the left that you can scroll through. You'll notice it's color coded. The color coding is just the 3 colors that represent the galaxy. So this galaxy is represented by brown, blue, and dark orange. Here's a random one. It's called Abraxas's Junction. It's a binary system with 2 planets, which means it has 21 anomalies. The reason it has 21 anomalies with 2 planets is because there's a star core at the center, and there are 7 anomalies there as well. So again, when you zoom in by selecting one of these systems, I want that sphere to go transparent, and it would show an abstract representation of the solar system for that star system inside of it. And you'll see what that looks like on the next screen. I just haven't done it yet. So I'm wondering, does that sound cool to you based on what we're about to see? So let's pick Abraxas's Junction. We'll click Deploy Agents, and that'll take us to the star system navigation screen. Here you have 2 planets to choose from and the star core. This is another 3D scene, so you can spin around. I need to fix the lighting because I feel like the lighting should be coming from the center here, but it's coming from above for some reason. And I also think that perhaps the star core could be represented better. Right now it's just 2 simple spheres with random colors. So I need to change that, I think. And I'm not sure how to do it. Like, would you prefer to see something super realistic or stylized there? What do you think? The textures need a little bit of work on the planets, but largely I'm happy with them. I think maybe I don't need all the depth mapping that the textures have. I just need the basic texture, and to shrink that texture a little bit so that it doesn't get pixelated when you blow up the planet to fill the screen. We're going to select S00 or P002 and click Launch, and that will select that planet. This is the final screen of level selection right here. It's where you engage the 7 Archons on that planet. And to start, you're going to scan location and choose, and what that does is it rolls for initiative to see who goes first in the game, you or the Urge, and it also selects the Archon that you'll be starting battle against on that planet. So we click scan location and we discover Orin. It just happens to be Orin week over on Twitter, by the way, at PlayAA Games on Twitter. The link is down in the description. PlayAA Games is where I post lore, screenshots of the game, development updates, and general information about the developments of 7 Archons, Aeon's Ascent, and the Astral Assemblage universe. So do check that out. Give us a follow if you're on Twitter. If not, just give it a browse and check out some of the lore posts that I've done. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. So anyway, Orin would be the first Archon we'll do battle with, and when you click engage, that would activate the star system. That would activate the match. So here you'll see I click engage and it dumps us into the game screen. This game screen is a placeholder for the actual game screen, which is in a different application, as I said at the beginning of this. But that is what I wanted to show you this week. That's what I'm working on after I get special abilities implemented. The special abilities are kicking my butt a little bit, and here's why. This is my user guide for the special abilities. There are 7 Archons and 11 aspect cards that all have special abilities. So I had to actually go and print out a document to showcase all the different aspect cards powers as well as the Archon powers. And it's a little difficult to implement, and here's why. Each aspect card's special ability varies wildly from one to the other. Like the Fool card has a special ability called Folly's Mischief. You can actually read a lore post over on the Astral Assemblage website about the Fool, and we'll continue to do those lore posts over the next 12 weeks or so, 11 weeks, to introduce you to each card's special ability with a little story. And then at the end of the post, there's direct information about what that card's special ability does. Now, the reason it's so difficult for me is because I'm not sure exactly how to implement each one yet. Like, Folly's Mischief is really easy. Radiant Contamination, which is the Serpent's power, is pretty easy. But like the Knight, for example, is a little complex because the Knight, when charged, can take an Archon card from your hand. So say you've got a 3 card, that's the Knight, and you evoke it. That's the name of the special ability in the game, is an evocation. When you evoke the Knight card and it's ready to go after 3 turns, you must be holding an Archon card in your hand. And if you're holding more than one, you simply choose one of the Archons in your hand. And that Archon goes into play on the battleground immediately at a reduced hit point or cosmic power level of 77. At 77 points, you should be able to wipe them out and capture them if you play well in 3 turns, which is how many turns you have to capture them. If you fail to capture them in those 3 turns, they go to the discard pile. Let me make sure that's true. Yep. Ending up in the discard pile means it's going to be a while before you get to capture that Archon. So you don't want to fail. And that's a consequence of the thing that requires some strategic thinking of the special ability. That's a consequence. So all the special abilities combined, that means I have to write 11 distinct special abilities because no 2 are alike. And then on top of that, there are 7 special abilities, 1 for each Archon, that I have to create. Those are called coalescences. And it's just kicking my butt because it's much larger in scope than I had anticipated. And I'm going to get through it, but I think it's going to take me 2 weeks, not 1. And I'm only starting in earnest on it this week because I was on vacation last week and focused mainly on building the website and my Twitter presence. Speaking of the website, I'd like to show you a preview of what we've got going on over there before we go. So let's jump over and take a look at the website. So here we are on the Astral Assemblage Games website. It's very simple right now. There's a blog, an about page, and a contact form to get in touch with me if you have questions or suggestions on what you've seen here or over on Twitter, or if you just have some general questions, partnership ideas, that kind of thing. Below the fold, you'll find 3 sections. Meet the Archons, which goes to the 7 Archons category. Explore the lore of AA, which goes to the Astral Assemblage lore category. And then become a beta tester. Become a beta tester will take you to the beta tester sign-up form, which is active right now and you can apply to. And I will get back to you as soon as I can. I do work a full-time job, so I mostly tend to these applications in the evenings and on the weekends. And I'm looking for specific types of players right now, so you can learn more by filling out the form, reading the form and filling it out if you're interested. Finally, there's the blog, and I'm super stoked about the blog because this is my chance to sort of showcase my writing talents and my partnership with AI, which is really cool. It's not an official partnership. What I mean is I collaborate with AI. There's no way I'd be able to write all this fiction myself, given that I have 2 full-time jobs and I'm doing this project on top of it. So what I've done is I will take and outline a lore story and then I'll give it to ChatGPT. ChatGPT will spit out a rough draft that I'll then edit and compose into a blog post, and it's going really well. I've written over 9 stories now. Actually, it's almost double that because each Archon has 2 stories that I've written so far using ChatGPT. And then I just started going through the aspect cards and creating the lore for each of them, starting with the Fool, which is what you see on the screen right now. And if you check back in a couple days, we'll have Xanthi, the Fool, and Orin. Orin is currently being featured on Twitter. The Twitter account is @PlayAGames, and that will about do it for this week's devlog. Thank you, as always, for joining us on the Astral Arkitekt. Welcome aboard, and I hope to see you in the next video. Remember to like, comment on what you thought about the level select screens. Again, if you're a little shy and you don't want to comment publicly, head over to the website or hit me up on my DMs on Twitter. I am available to talk to you and happy to do it. So I'll see you in the next video.